A very good morning. Uh, Yesterday we were talking about for routing. So I hope you are able to practice that. And anybody having any questions, please let me know before I continue today's topic. Any questions on this routing side? Feel free to type your text or I raise your hand so that I can unmute and then you can talk. Either of that. Feel free. If you have any questions, please raise it, put it in the question window. Okay. How comfortable are you with routing? Please raise your hand. Is the routing is clear? Do you need any review? Refresh? Raise your hand if anybody. I hope you are all able to hear me. I hope my voice is audible. Please raise your hand. Nobody is responding. Hello? Is my voice audible or no? Unfortunate, nobody is answering. Hello. Is it so difficult to raise your hand or reply it in the question? Hey, is my voice audible, Rajesh?
Yes, sir. It's audible.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
But nobody is responding. Unfortunate. But that is what it is. Hmm. Very unfortunate. It is. Nobody is responding. Okay. Let it be like that. Let me just start with today. We yesterday we stopped at putting the routing and ensure that we are able to move the from one page to another. We are able to move it. So that is what we did by using this creating a routing. And also I told to create a route in one place altogether instead of multiple places. I hope you have tried. I'm not sure whether you have tried or not tried. So today what we are going to do is we have in the mat form field, using mat form field, we are going to create a form and we are wanted to make this uh, alignments, make it basically it's a registration page. We want to show the registration page inside the form. I'm not now worried about CSS. I'm just worried about content to be displayed. We are able to make it running. Then we'll see how to do the CSS adjustment to make the better look and feel. Of course, we decided that we'll use the so-called form group, that is so-called mat form field, etc. We'll use that we yesterday discussed, and we'll continue to use that. So registration page and registration.component.html. So this is where we declared the form. It's a group form group. We declared the form here, and that form is being used as a tag name here. I just close the login for time being. Registration, I just close the form group here. Make sure all these components are added as part of the modules. So form group we have not added, form builder we are having, validators we are having, form we are having. We ensure that it is in raw form module, router register dot module. We have to add the forms module here. So we have to import that. So it's a import. I'm not using it in login now. I'm using it as part of Angular Forms. Angular Forms is important. So I'm importing module. I'm importing the forms module, reactive forms module. and forms module and reactive forms module. That is two are important for us. So module means I need to import it here. So I'll do the import here. Forms module, reactive forms module. So I have imported these two also inside this. So this is important to ensure that we are the forms module component can be used inside the screen. So just make sure there is no compilation error. If any compilation error, we need to address that as well. I have not yet started that. I'll just start it. Node, command prompt, D drive, projects. No, it is not under project. It's under upskill. Upskill FS proj 1. So I just added that. Just ng serve. I'm not adding any new component now. We have already added a component. We are just ensuring that sometimes what happens, this ng serve, when we add anything on the module level, sometimes ng serve may not get added that. So you just have to control C and then do the ng serve. When I automatic compiling, I'm talking about. When it comes to automatic compiling, sometimes it might give a problem. So in such cases, you just have to come out and then restart the ngserve command. So this will come load that page. Advantage of the load is, as I said, lazy chunk loading. That means these are all compiled and waiting for this to be ready. So whenever the module is called, at that time this will get loaded, so that it is doesn't initial loading time will be much faster. These are all some of the important concepts from the perspective of so-called what do you call from the perspective of how fast the page is loading performance. Basically, the page load performance we call it as. So from that perspective, these components are important. So one of the reason why we are splitting into modules are so that we can enable the lazy chunk loading. That means when that particular requirement is called, then only it will load the data. Otherwise, it will not load the data. Upfront, it will not load the data. In our case, you can notice that that's why I started a fresh project. In our app module, only basic modules are there. None of the other modules are, no forms module, nothing is there here. Forms module is getting added only at the component level, at the registration component level. That is because at that time only module, register module, only at that time I need a component of the forms module or reactive forms module. Otherwise, I don't need it. So I'm not loading this upfront. I'm loading it only when this module is getting called. So that is how the structure is. So that is why we are going with multiple modules, so that the lazy loading is taken care. What is lazy loading? I'll keep it open. Assume that I just keep a template, that is localhost open. Localhost. I'll just go to localhost. Make sure that I have right click, inspect element on. In this, if you go into the network, you know what are all the pages loaded. If I now click on register button, you can see that the register module is getting loaded. Only during that time it gets loaded, not before. Not before, it gets loaded only during that time. So you can see here approximately this 300 is getting loaded only at the time of lazy loading. This modules is getting loaded. That's what it means. So that you don't load everything upfront onto the memory. It utilizes when you move from one module to another module, it will get unloaded and another module gets loaded. It will be part of the caching. So all that will, so this will help you to do the manage the performance of the page, how fast my page is reflecting to the UI. So in that way, so I'm back to register module. In register module, I'm going back to my code. In register module, what I want to do, module, I just close this module now. I close this module also, routing also. These routings are all already we have done. Right? I'm just now in register component. This is where we are in. We wanted to have email, password, confirm password, and I want to validate password and confirm password as well. That is next. First is I just bring a UI as simple mat form field. Mat form field is also a module. If I want to enable it, I need to enable it under here. So I need to enable it under module, not component, module. Module, I need to add that. It is part of mat form field is a separate module by itself. So I need mat form module, mat form field, I need input, I need button. All these modules I need to add. So I will add it as part of this one. The top one is the global guide. Bottom ones are all individual modules. Import. It is part of materials module. So I just try to add that module below so that it will, I'll see whether that gets added. No, it is not coming. Okay. I don't know the syntax. Otherwise, I'll take the help of Angular. I'll take the help of other project. Whatever I prepared materials. Mat form field module. It is part of Angular. I'll take only those that we require now. Mat form fields, I put it cut and paste here because I don't know the syntax of it. Mat form field, I need input module, cut and paste there because we need an input. Then I need a button module. Button, mat button. Yeah, button module. This also I need. So I have added those three. I ensure that as soon as it is all part of the registration button requires only these three modules. I don't need all modules. Since it's a module, I am loading it underneath import. Without this, it will not have an impact. That mat form field will not have an impact. So this is at the module level. So we have added that. Component level, there is no change because it's a part of the directive mat form field. Inside the mat form field, I can have mat label. Label, I can give my own name. Say for example, email. Then I have an input field. Input, mat input. Right? So input will need an aggregate form control name because I'm using a form control name. Whatever the name that I'm giving here, because I'm using the form, I'm using that form control name. Form control name is nothing but email. I'm giving that email here. Email here. So name property is one of the important property. They will tell you to use it. So I use the same name. Name properties right now it is not mandatory, but it is better to use it. Then you want to give mat hint. You want to give a hint, you can give it. Mat hint. Email must be a valid and personal email. Office emails are not allowed, something like that. Just you can mean it in a way you want. Another is mat error. Mat error will come to that little later. For time being, just I'm creating the tag here. I just create a tag, but nothing inside the tag. This is what one form field is all about. One form field can contain label, can contain input, can contain hint, can contain error. Thus, mat form field is a wrapper. These are all the components. Label is a component, input is a component, hint is a component, error is a component. Then I want, if I want it, put it as a separate line item, then I can use a div here. If I want to put it as a one below the other, If I want to put it one below the other, for time being, I'm using a div. One below the other, you are trying to make, because div is a block element. So here, instead of mat input, type password, type password, type password, control name password. Name is also password. Name field, it is better to use it. So control, please remember this form control name. Form control name is binding this form group. This form group is bound through this candidate. This candidate, another is confirm password. Register.html, I put another one down. Div, another one down. I'll put it as confirm here. So these are all components. Inside the components, we have just added a confirm password. This is for sign up. This is for sign up. So it should be a password. Password must be of 5, minimum 5, and maximum 10 character length. Right, password must be minimum or 5 confirm password must match with password, must match with password. So it is confirmed. Make sure these names are all properly given. So this is what we just created. Below this form, I want to have one more div, that is for button. Div, this is for button. Button, it is a sign up button. Sign up or register. Register. I want to create it as a mat raise button. Mat raise button. I just want to register. Event, click on event. I want to go to register as a function name. And this register function name, before I save, it must be available underneath component. So make sure that is also created. Make sure it is part of the register component. Create the class method, register console log. I just put this form. I just print this form when I click on register. And login button, I need another button. This I want to make it as a link, right? So I just want a link. So href. Okay, I just put instead of that, I just put a span here. Yeah, span. I just put here already having account. Please click here. Okay, I just put it inside the span. I use the left margin style, or I can put a div, that is better, so that one line below. I can put a div one line below. So I don't want in the same line. I want this to be in the separate line. For this div, I make it as a link. Link means click on click of this div. I just say login page. I just call the login page. Right? You want to give a blue color to this link, underline this link, all that you can do it through this style sheet. Style sheet or underline, you can use U. U is for underline. U and This is for underline. U is for, it looks like an underline component, right? You want to show it in the blue color, you can show that as well. So then style, color, blue. So you can show it like this as well. So you can show this as a blue color, clickable event, because that is a click event. Click event almost works for all the components. It doesn't matter. Whatever the component is there, you can use that one, right? Inside, click, etc. So button, if I click here, so this is what I just wanted to make. I save this. We made now one form ready. Make sure compilation goes smooth without any failure before we move on to the actual execution. You can see whatever the changes, he just updated that only. Now it has become from 300 KB, it has become like 771 KB. So that is the size of this module now. So like this, if you have numerous module, lazy loading will help. Okay, so I just created a module now, added, now it is ready. Then what happens? I just want to, we go back to our page. FS project, register. If I click on register, you can see that 3 forms are appearing, but still that mat form field, that effect is not there. Register button is there, but color is not there. Okay, button is there. Mat input is not effective. I don't know why. Mat form field is there. Mat label is not appearing at all, right? Mat label is not appearing at all. Somewhere spelling mistake may be there. We'll first see whether any error is there or not. Yeah, there are errors. Mat form field control. What is saying? Mat form field control. Mat form field must contain. What does that means? Email is there. Mat hint is there. Mat error is there. I think I should spelling mistake somewhere. Mat form field. Mat form field. I'll just open our previous project. I'll just open our old project to just do a comparison. FS dev. So in
That mat input, there should not be any underscore anything else.
mat input, but
Mat input, mat hyphen input you have written. Mat.
Okay. I capital.
I.
Okay. Let me just change that. Is that the way I've written the old also? Component HTML mat input. Okay. I am in which project? Yeah, here. So mat input you say without this. This. Is that the one problem? Let us see. Okay. Let us see. But I don't think this will solve. Let us see that. If it solves, well and good. So we have done it. Compilation, there is no problem. Compilation was successful. But only thing is, when we execute the project, it was giving an error. Yeah, we have got that. All information is correct. So mat input, we should have given mat I capital instead of hyphen. So register page pure black because we have not given any formatting to that. So that's well and good. I want to now make sure I just bring it to the center, height 100%, align, center. Let me see how that gets centered. Let us see. It is getting centered, but height, there is no change. Height is remains same. So style, vertical align. I think that is called vertical align. Vertical align. Middle. Let me use this. Let us see what happens. No, it doesn't have any impact. Vertical align, Safari, etc. Middle, it is 100%, right? I think I have to put this style to this form, not here, not to that div. I have to do it for this. Let us see. No, that also, it doesn't have any impact. What is that flex shall I use? Which one you use? Any idea? Not flex. Height center. Okay, we'll come to that. It's a style sheet, so let us bother about style sheet later. There are ways to center the element, so you can do that. Right now, we have done this sideways, that is width center. This I have to rename it as password. I have to rename this as confirm password. Confirm password. I have done all this renaming. Type is password, so whatever I type, it becomes a so email. Validation is done. So if you can see the red color here, the validation is done, but that validation is not yet effective. So okay, so what shall we do? That is refresh it, save it first, save it. Now we'll add the controls now. Error, mat error we'll add now. So for adding the mat error, right now, since we are using the form builder, I think now I can use the form dot get dot something, that function. Ng if conditional statement, ng star, please remember the star before, ng I capital if equals ng if I am getting form dot get email, get within quotes, single quotes, email dot errors. Now I don't think it will give an error. If it has a errors, I want to display the error. I want to display the error. So there are two types of error possible. One is validity, that means mandatory field validation. Second one is, so for mandatory field validation, please use required symbol here. If I put required here, then you can see a star mark on the top of the font. You will see a star mark because all are required field for us. So add a required component inside the input tag. Please remember, input tag is not, closing tag is not required for input. Email input doesn't require a closing tag. So I just put a required. So now I want to create a function. That is the easiest and best way. You create a function for all the errors. So easy for you to manage. Get error message, because message can be dynamic. Error message. What do you want to pass it to this? You pass the control here. You pass the control here. Sorry, I say control name. CNTRL name. Control name. Just make it a string. Control name. It's a type sensitive. If I don't want all this type negotiation, I can do it as part of the Angular JSON validity failure. Right? So get error message. I'll redo all this for your better thing. First, just make sure you are able to follow the flow. Don't worry about code now. Just follow the code. Then we'll come to that internal. So I'm giving the string. So for this string, I can get the control from here. So based on this name, I can take the control name. I can validate what type of error it is. Let us first do it for one. So if control name, that is this dot form of get control name, CNTRL name, control name dot errors control name dot the errors dot required. If it is a required field, same problem started coming. He will say it has to be like this, with this field like this. So required, if it exists, I just return message. What is that message I want to return? This field is mandatory. Just let us do this. Otherwise, return null. Else, return null. Just I'm doing it for one field control name. It can be anywhere. Whatever the control name I pass, I take the errors of that control and check required, because required is mandatory in all the three fields. I made it as required. Validate as required, required, required. But I don't want to write an individual code. For this control name that I pass, this is the control name. For this control name I pass, I just come here, get message, and copy paste the same thing here. Whatever is given here, get error message. Copy paste that function, get error message followed by control name, email. Because we know what is the control name. That is what I just passed the message. I copy paste now everywhere. Everywhere I copy paste this, change the control name from email to password. Required field. We are validating for required field. Confirm. Make sure the control name is used. Right? So confirm the control name is used. We just given this. Let us see, execute this. Only difference now is last time we have used differently, that is directly the group, that is the abstract control, that is not supporting the reactive form, because I want to move the control from component to HTML. And that was not moving. Now, instead of that, I use the form builder. Form builder has a lot of advantages. One of the advantages, it is dynamic, interactive between two places. We are able to interact as well. We did it, make sure there is no compilation error. We do got a compilation error, possibility of the null. Let us go here. I don't know whether the same problem is going to surface here or not. Let us just try. Yeah, successfully done. Once I put the question mark, successfully I am able to I am passing this entire component name here, so that all other things I validate at the register component. Make sure the page is also shown in the UI. It has shown. I now click somewhere outside. Just see, field is mandatory, right? I outside the field is mandatory. Automatically this message. You want the name of the field here? Very simple to do. I just, instead of this field here, right? There is called, use the before one, tilde. Use the tilde. Pass on, instead of this, you pass on the control name, dollar control name. So this will make tilde dollar control name. What happened? Do you mean CNTR? Oh, sorry. CNTRL. Yeah. CNTRL name field is mandatory. If you just come back and see here, come about, email field is mandatory. Password field is mandatory. Confirm field is mandatory. You will see that name here. One simple function, but it is able to validate that. So now our subsequent error messages we need to validate. Right now we have done it for required. Required, we are able to do it for all the component without any problem. Now I do it for else if this form dot. Now I want email validation, right? This email validation. So form dot get control name, CNTRL name, colon errors dot error errors dot, here I just say email. If it is having this error, return, same thing, copy. Later I'll change the content, return, control not a, I don't need this, not a valid email, right? Not a valid email. For email, we covered. Next is min length and max length. If it is varies from different fields, then you have to ensure this is applicable only for password now. Get control name. Okay, I can directly put if control name equal to password and this form errors is min length comma max length. I don't think he's supporting that, so I have to use separate candidate only. Min length or this is or condition, this is or condition, min length or either min length or max length. Max length, right? Then what do you want to say? Control name, password must be between 5 and 10 character length. 5 and 10 character length. So we can return that as well. So now password is completed. We have not touched the confirm password yet. So we'll touch that also. That is confirm password and password matching record. So return, else if no errors is returned, you'll say fine, everything is good. So first is invalid email, ABCD. You can say not a valid email. See the message. ab@gmail.com. It's a valid email, so there is no problem. Right? Password. Password is, for example, I say 123. Then it says password must be between 5 and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then there is no error. Confirm password, it is only required field. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I click on register button. I will go there, right? So before I do that, I want to validate password and confirm password must match. The hint is overlapping. So hence for timing, I'll just remove the hint. Because otherwise we need to adjust that hint with the CSS. For timing, I just adjust so that we have that overlapping is not there. So don't save. Okay, so email, password, confirm password. These are all okay now. I want to validate password versus confirm password. What to be done? That is called validators. That is called, I want to additional form level validation. I want to do it. Then it is called, put it inside the JSON, validators, colon, whatever the function name that you want to call. I have just put here one function name here, matching password. So matching password, there is a syntax for it. I take the string now. It is string is like password string, confirm password string. These two are my input. Right? These two are my input. I need to return the object, return the form group actually. I think the syntax is form group. Let me check. Let me check the, I think I copy pasted somewhere. Yeah. I copy pasted this, put it here. Password. So form group is form group is not added, just I add that form groups. So form group controls pass, controls confirmation, etc. Matching password is true. So this matching password, I call it here. Validator this dot matching password followed by password, which is a hard coded, it's a string. Password, then confirm password. It's a string. Because the control name is passed on here, the control pass is passed on here, equal to control password confirm. If these two matches, you return a null. Otherwise, you create this error message. For this error message, we need to have a else if. This is the form control level, form level. Form level, if I want to have these errors, so it is a form level control. I need to give a error message. So this form dot errors, right? Errors dot, put it within quotes, sorry, semicolon, within quotes, matching password. This, if this has this, oh, get control. Let us see how that reflects here. Then we'll add that. Let me check here. That is easier. Let me just check here. Register component. Matching password. Get error message. Form control number. This control name equal to form. So I have to pass that form. So control has a error. Okay. Has error. So instead of errors, I need to use has error. Project 1. Instead of errors, I need to use control else if this dot form dot has error matching password the same spelling that it is returning. This is the, it should match. If it is having this, then you say here return password and confirm password must match. So this is my return message. This form has error, you return this. That's all. Where you want to display that message. You want to display it below this field. I just put it as mat error. But please note, this is not underneath form control. So, or I can put it here itself. I can put it here itself. ngf form dot errors as error matching password. Has error matching password. Matching password. Then you would say here get error message bracket form. I need to give the name of the control name. Proteins. Yeah. Save all. Hope there is no error. Make sure there is no error. It is taken. Now you can see register module has gone up by 1 more KB, 775.73. So execute now. It is already might have loaded. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this and this not matching, but I'm not getting any message. So I have to check that. We'll debug that in the next class. Why it is not coming? We'll debug that because time is up. So form control name equal to form, double equal to form. That is what we are giving. Sorry, not here. Register. Yeah, form control name. Form has error matching password. Then we are passing it here, but this is not getting returned. We'll check this tomorrow. Why it is not coming? We'll get this tomorrow done. Okay. So right now, else if this form having matching password, this should execute. Let us see that tomorrow. Okay. So any questions as of now, please let me know. Any questions, please let me know. So we have now covered how to create a form. Tomorrow, after this completing this, we'll take it to the behind. We call it as injector service. That will be connecting to the behind the scene, behind the code. That will be taking up from tomorrow on. So we'll integrate this form with the backend code. We'll use DB also. For time being, I'm going to use PostgreSQL, and that PostgreSQL is in my network. It is in my office network. So for you to use, please have your own DB installed in your local. So I hope you are going through the DB session. In that, it might have been addressed to you. Okay. Thanks a lot. No questions raised, so I leave it at that. I'll let my practice team will take over this session now. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye. Happy